left. And if you're Denver, go quick.
It's Jokic from the outside. He puts it down. The foul. A chance for four.
What a turn in OKC.
Wow.
And now Murray with a chance to tie it up with 8.5. He's got it. Timeout OKC, all even at 126. It's 100% going to be in his hands.
Well, there he is.
SGA with 5. SGA step back 3. He's got it. On a night that he ties Wilt Chamberlain. SGA's greatest hit tour continues.
Must be something about that name, Shay. I don't know. Good morning. A thriller in OKC last night. We'll get to it in a minute. Kendrick Perkins is here with us. Vince Goodwill, both of them waking up early on the West Coast.
Waking
Hello.
up early. Neither has on a tie. I'm in studio. They're not in studio. Big Perk just got on me last week because I had a wardrobe malfunction. But you know what? He pities the fool every morning. He's on the air, you know, with Mr. T and all that stuff. But it's all right. It's all right. I miss y'all. Love y'all. Good to see y'all this morning. How you doing? How you doing?
Hey, not today. I refuse to take the bait this morning, okay? I refuse to take the bait this morning. I know you chucked your fishing line out there in the water, but you ain't catching this well today, okay? We go get this show started.
In Vince's defense, he did ask me about a tie, and I told him, no, stay true. Stay true. Keep it loose. You're out in L.A. Leave it like that.
That's right. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Let's go to Oklahoma City last night because the Thunder hosted the Nuggets. And namesake, as I mentioned, really put on a show. SGA was 1 rebound shy of a triple-double, but finished with 35 points and a career-high 15 dimes. He also matched Wilt Chamberlain's record for consecutive 20-point games, becoming the only other player to do so. SGA hit that step-back 3 with seconds left to give the Thunder the win. Here he is on his clutch-time performance.
I had no clue what I was going to do. I have answers to the test, but I got to see the questions first. So once I seen he was on my left and I was going right, I think it was Christian Braun that was in the gap. So I knew I probably was if I drove to shoot a midi, it was probably gonna be a contested with 2 guys. So I tried to separate from the 3 and get a good, comfortable shot, and then went down.
So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hit his first game-tying go-ahead 3-point field goal in those final 5 seconds of the fourth quarter or overtime since 2022. The guy is so impressive. Perk, you first. Do you think SGA secured that MVP last night with that performance?
No, Shay, I think it's going to come down towards the end. I still got Jaylen Brown in the thick of things, especially with the Celtics being number 2 in the Eastern Conference. You know, obviously, Cade Cunningham got to be in that conversation. But I will say this, he reminded us, or that game reminded us, that he's still the best player in the world. Like, the MVP conversation is one thing, but when it comes to being the best player in the world, we saw that last night. He is one of the most efficient guards that we've ever seen in the history of the game. And now Shai has took that leap because we know he's the best in the league for us making tough contested twos and getting buckets. But now he's making guys around him better. Us 4 right here on set today could have been on the floor with him, and we would have each had 10 to 15 points because he's getting the job done. We saw the 15 assists last night, making Jalen Williams look good, making Isaiah Joe look good, distributing the rock, picking and choosing his spots. That's what great players do. So last night was more than just the MVP conversation to me. That was going blow to blow, toe to toe with Jokic, a guy that we've been going back and forth whether or not he's the best player or SGA is. Last night, SGA just reminded us and showed us that he's still the best player in the world, especially when it comes to the clutch and knocking down 2 big threes, one to take the lead, one to bring it up to 4 and another one to win the game. That's what best players in the world do.
And now the Thunder are 3-0 against the Nuggets so far this season. But what do you think, Vince? Do you think he secured that MVP last night, did Shai?
I don't like to be prisoner of the moment, but I think you have to take these moments into account. I do think that he secured his MVP last night. I do think that Jaylen Brown is going to be on the ballot. Nikola Jokic is still going to be on the ballot. So is Cade Cunningham. So is Victor Wembanyama. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the top 5. But when you look at Oklahoma City's season, his number 2 guy, Jalen Williams, has missed more than half the games with injuries. Isaiah Hartenstein has missed a lot of time with injuries. And yet and still, Oklahoma City is by far the best team in the league. And we don't talk about their injuries the way that we talk about Denver's injuries, the way that we talked about Boston missing Jason Tatum. And the reason for that is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And this is going to be his 4th straight year shooting over 50%. His 4th straight year shooting almost 90 from the line and shooting well over 36 from three-point range. I'm willing now to give him the best player in the game because I thought that was Nikola Jokic. I've been saying that for the past couple of years. Once I gave it up to Nikola Jokic, once he crossed that barrier of winning the championship and doing it in the fashion that he did it, he's held that title for me. Now I feel like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has taken that from him in a forceful way last night. We don't talk about OKC's injuries because they got Shai. And here's the final thing for me, guys. There's a stat called win shares per 48 minutes. It's a statistical thing that I don't quite understand, but it's the closest indicator to MVP that we've had in the past 40 or 50 years. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is having one of the absolute greatest seasons in the history of the NBA. We should be paying this a lot more attention than we do.
I hear where you're coming from, Vinny, but I'm going to roll with Perk on this. It's not decided yet. It's 18 games left, and it's still that close. Now, I haven't ignored the fact that only 3 turnovers were committed last night by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's not forget that. This is the point guard that we're talking about here is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's not just a superstar player. He's not just the best in the game because he is the best in the game, but he's a point guard, okay? So the ball is in his hands. So when you see 3 turnovers, that has a lot to do with his stewardship of the offense. So give credit where credit is due in that regard. He's averaging more points than Jaylen Brown. He shoots better from the field than Jaylen Brown. He shoots better from three-point range than Jaylen Brown. So we got to take all of those things into consideration. Then when he went out, and then he comes back from injury, he's been back for the last 6 games. Oklahoma City is 6-0. They are undefeated with this brother on the court, and they don't have Jalen Williams. So we all know that right now Shea Butter is in a conversation, top 2 candidate for league MVP honors. But we've marveled at Jaylen Brown. And why have we marveled at him? Because he wasn't some number 1 that's just doing what he's done. He was the number 2. Jason Tatum was the number 1. And Jason Tatum goes down, and he walks into this season fresh off of signing, last year anyway, a $300 million deal, 304 to be exact. And what happens? They're saying, yo, what you going to do now? Can you step up? Can you show? There was actually speculation as to whether or not Boston should just, without Tatum, okay, just tear it all up and start anew, do something. And where's Jaylen Brown going to go? You going to keep him? You going to go elsewhere? You can get a lot of assets from him, whatever. Boston said, hell no. We believe in this brother. Let him show you what he's going to do. And what is Jaylen Brown going out there and do? He's averaging over 28 a game. He's clearly leading the way. He's leading on and off the basketball court. He's carrying the load without Jason Tatum for most of the season, with Derek Wright and Peyton Pritchard as his sidekicks and what have you. Al Horford is gone. Porzingis is gone. Drew Holiday is gone. But Jaylen Brown's still there and is doing his thing. So I definitely think that he's still in the running for the MVP race. Here's the one thing that I will say to Jaylen Brown, and I hope he's watching, because the brother's brilliant. He's a brilliant basketball player, but a brilliant mind. And everybody that knows that, I just finished, I was on last Friday. Perk and I did it years ago where we showed up to MIT and did that event for Daryl Morey. I had to do that with our boss, Burke Magnus and DraftKings, this past Friday in Boston as well. Anytime we're in Boston, obviously, people are going to ask you about the Celtics, and they were talking about Jaylen Brown. We know that Joe Mazzulla is a top candidate for Coach of the Year honors. Jaylen Brown is a top 2 candidate for league MVP. There are 2 road games coming up this week at San Antonio and then against Shea Butter and Oklahoma City. Now, Jaylen Brown, that's going to go a long way towards us looking at you. See, we don't have to look at Shea Butter, because when you look at Shea Butter, he's already the league MVP. He's already an NBA Finals MVP. He's already an NBA champion. So is Jaylen Brown. But Jaylen Brown was that as a number 2 option. You understand? Now, even though you got Tatum back, he's still feeling his way back. It's still you, Jaylen Brown, when you roll up in the San Antonio, when you roll up in the Oklahoma City. What you going to do? All of us are watching because we know what he can do. But what you going to do against those brothers? That is going to go a long way. If it's nip and tuck, we're going to have a nip and tuck MVP race. If Shea Butter goes out there and busts Boston's, you know what? That's a problem. If Jaylen Brown goes out there with Boston and busts Shea in Oklahoma City, you know what? We're going to be like, oh, damn. We got to pause and look at this because it's a different day. That's what it's a regular season. It's 18 games left, but 2 of them are coming up immediately. Their next 2 games for Boston is the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's going to go a long way towards us deciding if Jaylen Brown's going to be an MVP. If he show out the way he's been showing out all season long, it's going to make us all pause and say, we got to let this go down to the wire because that brother is something special. But if they get obliterated and Shea puts on a show, there's nothing to talk about.
So
we're going to look at that. We're going to say it's Shea.
Right now, Jaylen Brown, 80-1 odds. He's 5th in the MVP voting. Obviously, how lucky are we? We get to see these 2 guys go head-to-head essentially in the coming days here. The Oklahoma City Thunder have won 6 in a row. But you know who's been really good the month of March and the month of February? That would be the San Antonio Spurs. And so who are we higher on right now? Now, the Spurs did not